to Heroes and Droids, your guide to movies and TV shows about superheroes, sci-fi, Disney, and action, from Marvel to DC, from Star Wars to Star Trek, from James Bond to the Fast and Furious. We will discuss theatrical films and streaming delights you care about most. I am your host, Doc Rotten, and joining me tonight are my crew, starting off with the Slatman, Christopher Slattery. How you doing, sir?
Good. Have I convinced you yet?
Yeah, I think you're good. I think you're good. All right. If we haven't said Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Not sure if we did something last week, but it's going. We're.
Are you a battle droid?
Roger.
Yeah, instead of saying Roger, you're saying good.
You might be. All right. Also joining us is award-winning filmmaker Christopher G. Moore. How you doing, sir?
What's up?
We're gonna get us doing that. Stop it every time. All right, we have a fun show in story for you tonight. We are going to be reviewing the Bad Batch episodes 1 and 2, and then we're also going to be counting down our most anticipated TV shows for 2023. There are a lot. I think by the time I got my full list in here, it was insanely long and large. Just genre, action-y kind of shows, and then there's many more that actually could have been on there and I didn't list. But it's kind of nutburgers. It's kind of nutburgers. How good and broad TV is right now. There's so much stuff. It's impossible. I will say it's impossible to watch it all. You can't do it.
No, and not unless you just have no life, have no job. You're independently wealthy, and you can spend every waking hour watching stuff. You could probably watch a lot of the stuff, but most people have lives, or
I don't even know if I could watch everything I want to watch, much less the stuff that I don't know.
Yeah, but you have a job, you have a life, you have cats to take care of, so all that stuff takes time.
All right. Well, why don't we just dive into this and let's go down our list. What top 10s? What we're going to do is each of us is just going to present our top 10 list, and we'll have a quick chat about it. This is going to be a blast. I can't wait to do this. But before we get started, we hope you enjoy not only the show, but many others that we have on the site. And we hope you hit the like, subscribe, share with a friend button and help us reach our goals, because only you can do that, and help us find other fans like yourself.
Yes.
I love that. Simon's over there just giving thumbs up. Yeah, man. He's a cheerleader. All right, let's get into this, Slatman. What is your most anticipated TV shows for 2023?
Okay, so before I get into my list proper, I have a couple honorable mentions that didn't quite make it in there, but I feel like need to be talked about at least a little bit. First of all is Alien, because I feel like that belongs on a different podcast that you host, Doc.
Good. Yep.
But that's very intriguing to me. Another one that could arguably exist on the other podcast that you host, Doc, Godzilla and the Titans.
Yes.
Another one that could very easily exist on the other podcast that you host, Doc, is The Last of Us.
Yes.
One that would not be on that podcast is Dune Sisterhood. I fully expect that that Discovery will cancel this one, but if it actually comes out, I'm excited for it. And then my last honorable mention, just because I didn't have enough space for it, is Star Wars Skeleton Crew. It's intriguing to me. Don't really know much about it, so there's not a lot of hype for it, but I love me some Star Wars, so I'm excited to see what comes for it. All right, number 10 is Amazon's Fallout show.
Wow.
And it is not on here for what I expect it to be, but it's on here for what it could be.
I smell what you're cooking. Yes.
Yeah. I want it to be so good. I want it to be good, but I'm expecting it to be complete and utter trash. But the excitement is there, so it barely makes it in at number 10.
Okay, so we can clarify. We're not predicting these are going to be the best. We're just saying we are anticipating them, whether they end up being good or bad. So yes. Very good, sir.
Oh, that's a great segue to my number 9.
Oh,
Secret Invasion. It could be very good or it could be utter trash.
Yes.
I don't think there's much of a. I don't expect that this one's going to be very much in the middle, just because the Secret Invasion itself, like the comics, are so polarizing already. Like I'm very excited to see what they do with that, and based on the set photos that we've got, and knowing that Nick Fury is going to be a major role in it, I'm excited. Number 8 is Velma. Only because if it's anything like the the Harley Quinn show that's also on HBO Max, I know it'll be fun.
Can't deny that.
I think that that comes out like a couple weeks from now.
Yes, very soon.
Yeah, I'm excited. Okay. Another animated series that I've got on my list at number 7 is X-Men 97. Mostly because I absolutely adore nostalgia goggles coming on. Pew! I absolutely adore the 90s X-Men show. And I'm just I'm excited to see what they do with it. I'm excited to see what Marvel's first crack at X-Men without Sony's involvement or Fox's involvement.
Yeah, Fox,
Warner Brothers, yeah, one of them with
Fox.
Fox, yeah, Fox. I'm excited to see what it's going to be like. And if we get short, buff, angry Wolverine in it, I'll be happy. Okay. Number 6 is Bad Batch season 2. I really like the first season. The first couple episodes of the second season have been okay so far, but it promises to, based on the trailers, it promises to be much better throughout the remainder of the series. I really like the characters, and I want to see where it goes. Number 5 is the Muppets Mayhem. I love the Muppets, and I love the Electric Mayhem Band, and I want good Muppets material. I want something good that's Muppets, and I hope that this is it. Number 4 is Agatha, Coven of Chaos. Agatha was probably the best part of WandaVision, and I can't wait to see more of Agatha. I don't really think there's much more to say about that. Number 3, Loki season 2. This is my most anticipated. This is probably my most anticipated MCU property of the year. If you count movies and TV, like I'm most excited for Loki season 2. Loki season 1 was awesome. Loki season 2 based on what we know about it, seems to be following in those footsteps. Hopefully it lives up. Should be, in theory. Another thing that in theory should be excellent based on its history is Mando season 3 for my number 2 spot. We love these characters. We've grown attached to these characters. We love little Grogu. We love our Mandalorians, all of them. And I'm excited to see where this goes. I really enjoy the series, and it'll just be great. And plus that, leaked trailer was pretty awesome.
The leaked trailer. Yes.
And number 1, speaking of another leaked trailer, my segues are on point on this list.
They are indeed.
is Ahsoka. Ahsoka is one word or 2 words or 3 words technically. Ezra and Thrawn. I am so excited to get to see these characters again. Ezra, as I loved Ezra from Rebels. It very, very, very quickly throughout the course of that show grew into one of my favorite Star Wars characters, favorite Jedi post Order 66. Like just had such a great arc of great character growth, and I'm excited to see what they do next. And then Thrawn is just an amazing character. He's got 6 amazing canon books that paint him as not a bad guy, and I really hope these writers don't make him into a villain in Ahsoka. Plus, Hera and Chopper are coming back, and that's gonna be. I'm just so excited to get the Rebels sequel we all want.
I hope so. This is a great list. I knew Muppets Mayhem was going to be on there somewhere. I knew it. Yes, perfect. And I like that you have some animated stuff in there too. Good job.
You get good mixture of stuff.
I don't know much about Fallout. I think Christopher G. Moore will know more about Fallout than I do.
I have friends that play it and know of it. I've actually never played the game, and it seems like a very intriguing universe to play in.
Yeah,
and it is kind of interesting that there's a lot of these universes that haven't really been tapped into yet. So I guess we'll see how it translates, because there's also like a little bit of sense of humor to some of that stuff too, which I'm not sure.
It's very dark, like very Evil Dead-esque.
Yeah.
There you go.
Since you don't know much about it, Doc, let me paint a word picture for you real quick. 1950s America entered a nuclear nuclear holocaust, and now you are in the year like 22XX, like so many years after the nuclear war, stuck in 1950s America, but with laser guns.
Okay, that's okay. I'm interested. I don't know how that's going to play out, but that sounds good.
It works really well in a video game sense, and the setting is probably the best part about it. If they try to adapt any of the video games 1-to-1, it won't work. But if they try to make their own story in the setting, I think it could be fine. My worry is that they're just going to try to adapt the video games 1-to-1, and it's going to turn into another Resident Evil on Netflix.
I hope not. I mean, yeah. All right, Christopher G. Moore, sir, are you ready to tell us your list?
Sure. And let me preface this by saying that I'm kind of using this list is because we didn't do the best horror shows on the Gruesome podcast. This is how some titles sneaked into my list. So just know that going into this. A few honorable mentions. Skeleton Crew. I'm kind of interested to see what they do with that property. X-Men 97 is an honorable mention, mainly because I hope they keep with the thick rogue, if you know what I mean. I'll be very upset if we don't have thick rogue in that series. If you've seen the memes online, so please keep it sexy. I know it's under Disney, but please let's keep that, please. And Velma, I'm interested to see what happens with that. So that's in my honorable mentions. And actually, Bad Batch season 2 is in my list too, because I'm probably, out of all you guys, I'm probably the biggest fan, because it's me as someone that grew up watching the A-Team. This is my new version of the A-Team, so I don't mind it. Like some people have issues with it, but I enjoy it. So this gets to my list. So this is going to be an interesting mixture of stuff. Number 10 is Ironheart. I think with us getting like an initial picture of this character in Wakanda Forever, I'm kind of interested to see what they do with the TV series. And I really love the actress who plays that character. So I really, I want to see where the series goes. So that series is on my number 10. Number 9, Time Bandits.
Interesting.
I'm a huge fan of the original movie Time Bandits. And I like Taika Waititi, and I think even though some people didn't like the Thor sequel, the recent Thor movie that he made, I think a lot of the series he's been part of have really been a lot of fun, like What We Do in the Shadow series and stuff. So I really want to see what they do with the Time Bandits, because I've always wanted to see like a sequel or or something in that universe. So as a huge fan of that original series, yeah, because so I'm excited about that, even though we don't really know much about it. Number 8, the Alien series. I do like the Alien movies, and so I'm kind of interested to see what they do with the series version of that. So to see more of that, especially if they go some of the more traditional type stuff with the Alien stuff. So again, I never thought we'd be at this point in our lives where we have an Alien series.
No, isn't it crazy?
So yeah, go for it. Number 7. If you've seen any of my reviews of the John Wick films, I'm a huge fan of the John Wick films. And so give me all the spinoffs. We got the ballerina coming out with one of my future wife, Anna de Armas. So hey, I'm manifesting it. Okay. But the Continental, I'm actually interested to see with that, because that hotel is such an interesting thing in that world. And so I really want to see what they do with this series of this. And I'm sure they may have, I think they said that he actually, the John Wick guy may show up in some form. I guess I don't know if he's going to do a younger version. Anyway, I'm just interested in what they do in this world. So keep expanding this world. Tell different stories. So I'm all about that. Number 6, this is where horror starts popping up. The Last of Us. As someone who's played the games, and now that I got a PS5, I can play the upgraded versions of them and finish them for once. The games are very cinematic and interesting. And this has been written by the guy who wrote Chernobyl. And I think they are adapting it and changing it a little bit, but still keeping some of the elements of it. And the games have been put their own spin on the zombie genre, and I'm kind of interested in what they do with this TV series. And evidently it's going to be a limited series, so they're going to tell the type of story they want to tell. So I'm really excited about that, with Pedro Pascal in it. And they're making his character not as bulletproof, as they did in the game. So I'm really excited about the series and see what they bring in a series format of this game that I loved and played and got stressed out playing it and cried watching parts of it. So Last of Us is number 6. Number 5, Ahsoka. I'm really interested to see, we've seen the Ahsoka character, but just to bring sort of the rebels and other characters into this universe, I still have to catch up on a lot of episodes. So that's why I'm probably not as fervent about it as SLATTMAN or other people, but I am interested to see what they do with this series. Some of the characters that we know and love may pop up in it. Number 4, this is where Agatha, Coven of Chaos pops up. I'm a huge fan of it, although I'm still, because we don't know much about it, I don't know what kind of story they're going to tell, or how it's going to play out, but it's also got Aubrey Plaza in it, so it's already winning. Another future wife for me. Just keep adding them up. One of them's got to hit at some point. But yeah,
it's a winner.
Just throwing darts everywhere. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. Agatha was such a brilliant character, and so it'll be interesting to see what kind of story they tell with it. And again, that hopefully they'll go more of the horror realm with that as well, because we got a little bit of that, but after Werewolf by Night, I'm hoping maybe they'll inject more horror into that series, So number 3 is Loki season 2. Okay. I'm really looking forward to, I thought Loki, that first season was brilliant, and it just, I remember every episode would come out like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? And it was one of those times where I was so excited because every episode would end on some what the heck happened there? And it was such a crazy thing. And so I'm just wondering what kind of ways they can one up that first season and what new crazy places they can take us. And it was such a fun, crazy, wacky series that I never thought I would see Marvel do. And so I'm really excited about season 2 of that. Number 2, The Mandalorian season 3. what more can be said? The first 2 seasons were amazing, and they always found ways to surprise us and bring characters in. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. And we got a little bit of a taste with Book of Boba Fett, what happened after season 2. And then also just to know we're going to possibly return to Mandalore, and do some crazy crap with that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next, and maybe, how Grogu, how he's maybe growing, or whether in speech or in abilities. And so, yeah, I'm just, and again, this is what I love about it. As much as I love the Obi-Wan and other series, we already know where that stuff's going. This one, we really don't know where it's going. We don't know how it's going to play out or what characters we're going to meet. So I'm really excited to see with that. And that leads me to my number one, the big surprise. And because I'm allowed to put horror on this list, it's the fall of the House of Usher. I'm a huge fan of Mike Flanagan. I'm a huge fan of Edgar Allan Poe, and putting those two together and telling us different stories with that, with a lot of the cast that we love and all of his properties. I am extremely excited about this series, and evidently it's going to be even more bloodier than his other stuff.
Good.
And it's going to be pure horror. And so I know that we don't normally do horror on this podcast, but because I have that loophole, I'm going to use it. And it's going to pop to my number because I'm really, really excited about that series. And Mark Hamill is going to be in it. So we get a little Star Wars crossover.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh,
among other characters. So a lot of, of course, his wife's going to be in it. And so, yeah, it's got such an amazing cast of people. So that's the one I am extremely excited about. As much as I love my Star Wars and stuff, because we put a little horror in it, I'll say that.
I love it.
I'd like to amend my list. Fallout now bumps out into honorable mentions, and the fall of House of Usher falls somewhere in mine, because I didn't realize all that stuff. I knew it was a new Mike Flanagan thing, but I didn't realize it was him creating it. I thought it would be another series like the one that just came out recently.
Midnight Club.
Mass.
Midnight
Mass.
No, the one after Midnight Mass, the one with the children.
Oh, I forgot about that.
The sick kids, yeah.
The sick kids. I was not impressed with that one, but it came out recently, or not recently, but I thought he was more of a producer on that, and not really a director, hands-on. If he's like hands-on on House of Usher, I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure he worked with writers like he does with a lot of his series now, but he's helping to create it. So, but yeah, just the whole, and just telling, I want people to tell more Edgar Allan Poe stories in general.
Edgar Wright stories, you almost said.
Or Edgar Wright, or Edgar Wright telling an Edgar Allan Poe story. Let's do that. But yeah,
I love this list. Time Bands, this is a huge surprise. I thought Continental was going to be the surprise number one. So I was like, when you put it at number 7, I was like, oh crap, I have no idea what it is. So awesome. You surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know about you. Did you like Time Bandits growing up, Doc?
No.
No? Oh, well. Excuse me for mentioning that.
Sorry, but no.
No, I just loved it because it was back in that time where you could put dark sensibilities into kids' films, and people were like, what? Because I think that his parents get killed or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's such a wacky thing, and it has a whole great cast of little people in it. So, I'm excited about that.
I think it's a great property to translate to a TV series because it is so wacky and bizarre.
Time travel, and you can do a lot of cool stuff in it.
I think it would actually work even better, and from my perspective, as a TV show than it did the movie.
I think so too.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll dive into my list then. Let's just keep this ball rolling. Yeah, man. All right, so I didn't put horror on mine because for the same reason SLATTMAN did, but I
cheated.
I don't begrudge you at all for doing that. I actually am a little sad that I didn't. All right, so a lot of my honorable mentions are that Fall House Usher is that if I would definitely slide it into the top 10 for sure. Godzilla and the Titans, but I'm not convinced it's going to come out. Same with Alien. I'm not convinced it's going to come out, so I held back on those. If I did know that there was a date, I would definitely be sliding those in there. I'm looking forward to Squid Game season 2. I love that show, and I don't know where they're going to go with season 2, so that's the only reason I've pulled back on that. Gen V, which is a boys spinoff. I'm really curious about what they're going to do there. The Continental is on my honorable mention. And yes, I put Ted in my honorable mentions. I do like the foul mouth bear, toy bear thing. Talk. I don't know where they're going to go with it, but I'm game. I'm game. Sure. All right, let's get into my top 10. At number 10 is Ironheart. Yes. Only reason this would not be in the top 10 if some of those others were able to slide in. And it was because of the showing in Wakanda Forever. I thought the character was really well introduced and established, and I did like her. So now I'm very curious about what they're going to do with her character in the show. So squeaked in at number 10. At number 9 is The Boys season 4. I have been enjoying the hell out of this very gory and violent and vulgar at times superhero series from Eric Kripke, starring Carl Urban and many others. It's I don't know. Excuse me. It's everything I wanted it to be, and it's. I wasn't a huge fan of the comic series, but I love the TV show. At number 8, Star Wars: The Skeleton Crew. I put this in my top 10. I'm looking forward to this. I'll be curious if it actually makes it into 2023. I think it's squeaking in December, and there's a chance it'll probably push back to January of 2024. But I like that it's this weird little corner and something new to explore, and I'm game. At number 7, What If season 2. What If season 1 was a huge surprise. I really enjoyed the wackiness of it. I enjoyed the style of it. I enjoyed even some of the characters that we saw in there have made it into the movies, and that's fantastic. So I can't wait to see what season 2 brings us. I'm ready now. All right. At number 6, I didn't put numbers on mine, so I got to count every time. At number 6, Severance season 2. Severance was a huge surprise for me. It's an Apple TV show. I believe it's Apple TV. I'm pretty sure it's Apple TV. Adam Scott is in the lead, and it definitely has a sci-fi element to it, even though it's not in the face of it. It's more kind of a social commentary, but it does have this science fiction element of it where when you go to the job, you totally separate yourself from your home. So you have no recollection of what you do at home, and then when you go home, you have no recollection of what you do at your job. And what they do with that was amazing, and it had probably one of the best season enders in television of recent memory. It was it's a strong show. I really, really loved it, and I can't wait to see season 2. At number 5, Agatha, Coven of yeah, easy for me to say. Agatha, Coven of Chaos. Mephisto. Well, it's possibly going to be in it, but that character was breakout from WandaVision, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. There are some strong hints about some of the characters that are going to show up, among the one I just mentioned, and also some children that may have a potential future in Marvel. We'll spit those out as we get into it. And of course, the lead character. It's great. But it's not my most anticipated MCU. There's still 2 more to go. So at number, what is it? Is it 8? No, it's 7. At number 7, Secret Invasion.
Wait, what?
Wait, you said 6 earlier.
I'm so confused.
Shouldn't this be number 4?
Yes, at number 4. At number 4. Thank you, sir. Agatha was number 5. Secret Invasion number 4.
Okay.
Don't do this live, folks. All right, Secret Invasion. So it's adapting one of my favorite recent Marvel, recent, like the past couple decades, I guess now, but storylines and the Secret Invasion. It was just, in the comics, it was well introduced, and it really played out. There was a lot of mystery, like who's going to be a Skrull, who's not, and I don't think the show's going to achieve that expanse of it because it was really, MCU wide. This is going to be a little bit more personal and intimate with Fury, but with Nick Fury's. But I do want to see Samuel L. Jackson in a show, so this works. And I'm game. It's MCU, and I'm a Marvel zombie. All right, at number 3, Mandalorian season 3. To be honest with you, the next 3 have all bounced at number 1 at one point or another as I was doing this list. But Mandalorian season 3 fell to number 3, and not really sure why. I'm very eager to keep up with the Mandalorian and Grogu and the rest of the crew. I'm excited to see what surprises we're going to run into. I want to see what they do with the Darksaber and the Mandalore and all the other Mandalorians that we're supposed to get, and then what other surprises. There's hints at other Jedi showing up maybe, so I can't wait. And the 2 Mandalorian episodes that were buried in the middle of
You mean season 2.5?
2.5 in the middle of Boba Fett were insane, with huge surprises in them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, which leads to my number 2, and that's Ahsoka. I really love this character, and I love what the story promises. I love what characters so back to Boba Fett. They established this relationship with Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka, and I want to see where that goes, and what they did with that. Because we loved the last episode of Mandalorian season 2, right? And oh wow, look at that! And then they one-upped it. They set the bar really high, and then they crossed it with the Boba Fett episode with Luke Skywalker. So I can't wait to see. There's got to be at least one episode with him in it. Of course, there's good new characters. I can't wait to see Thrawn, of course, and I hope there's some other maybe Jedi in training going to happen somewhere around in here. So we'll see. At number 1, I'm a Marvel zombie, so this one won out in the end, and it is absolutely SLATTMAN, the best Marvel MCU property. Not only on Disney Plus, and I liked quite a lot of the MCU properties, more than you guys do, I think. But this one, I think, did edge out the rest of them, and it might be the most anticipated one of the movies as well. And that's Loki season 2. I just can't wait to see what they do with it. It was such a delight, and the Loki character was just they grew that character so much from entire. They basically did exactly what the show wanted. They broke him off from a certain point in the Marvel Cinematic Universe history and created a whole new arc for him, and the character grew so much. So I'm dying to see what that brings. And of course, I imagine there's going to be some Kang in it, right? They have to. There was a big Kang statue at the end of it. They got to do something.
At least it has to be a Kang.
A Kang. It could be any of the alternate versions. And then, of course, we have, I call him Short Round, and I apologize because I can't remember his name, but isn't he in the show?
Ki Kwan, yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I apologize for not remembering his name, but I can't wait to see what he did. He made apparently he didn't make a big enough impression for me to remember his name. I'm embarrassed, but I'm looking forward to seeing what he does here. And he was so great in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Did I have that right?
Yeah, he's going to get nominated, if not win Best Supporting Actor.
Definitely. So I'd be curious to see what his MCU character does. I love that he's in it. But yeah, what can I say?
Yeah, the green Loki theme is the ringtone when someone calls me. I just love that music, which that ending of that one episode where they had all the different Lokis and like dun 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 dun. That music is some of my favorite music in the whole Marvel universe. And so yeah, I'm really excited to see it. I'm not as excited about Secret Invasion as you guys are, mainly because I feel like it's going to be so serious. I'm just at a point now where I want to watch fun shows, and maybe that's why Andor hasn't really clicked for me. It's just it's like too somber, and life is too short to be depressed. That's why I haven't seen The Whales. But so yeah,
yeah, because I don't know about
but yeah. So I don't know. I'm just all about fun shows now. I mean, they can have a little bit of drama in it, but I feel like the way the trailers just make Secret Invasion, it just feels so serious. I don't know. I'm just not there for that yet.
I'm gonna have to say I'm surprised you guys didn't have What If at least in your honorable mention.
I did not like What If season 1.
I enjoyed What If, but I'm more excited about the Marvel Zombies spinoff than I am about What If season 2. I mean, I liked it. I liked the episodes of it, but I don't know. I feel like I'm not sure what other things that'll be as interesting as what they did in that first season. You know what I mean? Now, if the Marvel Zombies thing was on that list, it would definitely be in my top 10 because that's what I'm more excited about. And they're going to make that more horror oriented, more gory than what they did in the series. But yeah, I'm interested in it, but I'm not really. I don't know. I feel like I've been there, done that after the first season. So maybe they'll turn me around. Well, they'll have some really cool episodes and stuff that I don't know. We don't even know what kind of story. Do we know what kind of stories they're going to tell this time around?
Well, there's like 20 years worth of What If comics that
well,
they can pull
I know that, but that's like saying anything.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but what stories are going to be intriguing enough to tell? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the only one we know is the one that didn't make the cut for last year, which I can't remember what it is. But wow, that was cool. Boom.
Dun, 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 dun.
But I'm looking forward to it regardless. All right, so that's our most anticipated TV shows. Let us know what you think. What are yours? Which one did we forget? Which one should we not have included? What is your list? Let us know. All right, we have a few minutes left, so let's go ahead and dive into a quick review of The Bad Batch, Season 2, Episode 1 and 2, which debuted this past week on Disney+. And then it goes weekly after that. So we'll start with a review of the first season, and then we'll wrap it up when the show ends later in the year, later in a month or so, a couple months, whatever I'm trying to say. So I want to know, we'll go around. Go ahead and give us your beef, what you thought of it, your first impression and all that, and then we'll circle back around and give our scores. So Slatman, you're up first.
Okay, so I want to preface this by saying I don't think these 2 episodes are bad. But I will say that I was expecting more from them, and I don't know. I felt a little lacking from them. I thought for what they are, the story that it was telling, the episodes as they were good. They were fun. The characters, we got to see these characters again, everything that we loved about them from the first season is all back, dad mode Hunter, fun big brother Wrecker, Tech being Tech, we've got Omega's awesome accent.
She's a little older now.
She is a little older, and that actually kind of leads into one of my biggest positives. They have done such a good job with the animation. This show looks fantastic. The character models look so much better than they did in season 1, and you can really tell with, in my opinion, Hunter and Omega. Those are the two standouts for me. Those two look amazing, especially in certain scenes with Hunter, with the shadows and his face tattoos. Like they've done a really good job with the animation. And the mission that they go on is a fun little mission. It's a fun little adventure with these characters again. But what I felt was lacking with this was I felt that it was just it didn't feel like a season premiere for me. This felt like something that would go in the middle of the season. It felt like a 2-episode arc in the middle of the season where they just kind of go and do something. There wasn't that hook for me to bring me in to say, this is why season 2 was created. And so I feel a little let down by these episodes because of it, even though I really enjoyed them, even though I know they're competently made. They're well voiced. The voice acting's good in it. The animation is rock solid, and what the story that they did tell was good. But I don't know. I was expecting more from a season premiere, and it feels like we got like an epilogue from season 1 or a prologue to season 2 as opposed to a true introduction to season 2. So because of that, I have to give this like a 3.75. It's not bad. It's not poorly made. It's just I felt like there should have been more there. And I think we got kind of a hint of it at the very, very end. But to just go 2 episodes without that hook, and you barely give us anything to make us go to hook us in for why there needed to be a season 2. I don't know. My favorite scene though is when Wrecker takes the cannon and just starts blasting away, and he just looks like a happy kid the whole time.
It does look like a happy kid. That's a great way to put it. I love it. Christopher G. Moore, give us a spiel, sir.
I think my thing is I feel like people have such expectations for stuff, and I think this is the kind of series you don't need to have huge expectations. This isn't like supposed to be some. I mean, to me, this is like it's like watching the A-Team. It's seeing them on fun missions, doing certain things, and yeah, you have this overarching thing where they're going to possibly at some point start helping the rebellion or whatever. But I'm just having fun them doing all these crazy missions where they get in such trouble and how do we get out of this situation? And so I enjoyed it. I mean, granted, the first 2 episodes feel like it could have been like one long episode, but they do make them these small little chunks that kind of leave you on sort of a cliffhanger after the first. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, literally a cliffhanger. Chekhov's cliffhanger. But yeah, I really, I enjoyed the episodes. I enjoyed seeing the characters back, and I love me some Wrecker. I love his character. So, but yeah, and I mean, all the different, I mean, if anything, I'm watching this, it's like, I kind of wish the live action stuff had this kind of level of action, because I feel like they stage the action scenes, that whole opening thing with the alien crabs. I mean, I would have loved to have seen like Obi-Wan or, somebody in live action fighting those things. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I'm satiated. So I'll give it a 4.25 out of 5. I mean, I think to me, it's a good start because it's without the stuff I'm here for. I don't really have any huge expectations for them. I think that's a problem. It's like when they try to shoehorn all these bigger things into it, and they lose a sense of fun. And these characters are just fun. I kind of wish they didn't have to worry about the overarching stuff involving, the Empire and stuff, and just make it them going on missions. I just wish they could make it about that. Because I think that's the problem with Star Wars. Is the problem with a lot of these things is they have to, or Marvel. Oh, we need to make sure we put in all that stuff so it's all connected. How about just some stories where they just go on missions? How about that? So favorite scene would be, I think when they're fighting the crabs and that last moment where they all get on that, they get on that the box and they go up and stuff. It just felt like such a really cool action moment that I kind of wish we could see in live action as well.
It would be fun in live action. Yeah, I like that too. So just so we say them, the first episode is called Spoils of War, and the second episode was called Ruins of War, which there's a reason why for all that. And then the last episode for season 2 will be March 29th. So this will be with us for 3 full months. So it's going to be a lot of content.
The long batch.
And I think we're going to get a lot of good content with this. This series, I think I'm in Chris's and Slatman's, I guess I should say, since there's 2 Chris's. I'm in Slatman's corner here with that. It was a little underwhelming because I was wanting something a little bit more of a hook. I agree with that. At the same time, it totally scratched the itch. I think the character's a lot of fun. I like the growth of Omega. You know, she's really she's aged a bit. She's handier with the bow. They still don't quite want her, in danger, but they realize that she's an asset, and I like that growth. I really want to see where that goes. What I don't really know is what this story is setting up, because they did, it was a mission, which I'm not going to spoil it, but it went a certain way that I didn't expect. And I had a good time with it. But yeah, I wanted a little more. I still really enjoyed it. So I am still giving it a 4. Because I'm still looking forward to the rest of the season. I can't wait to see where this goes. I like this. There are aspects that they're dropping. They're hinting just very little things. They're hinting, what this place was they went to. I think it's going to end up being a big part of the season. There's a character that gets introduced that may have some ties to another character. I'm hedging things. And then there's do we know the bad guy that shows up at the end? We've watched him in the previous season, right? That's the same character, or is this a new character?
No, he was in the previous.
Okay, yeah, he was one of the Imperial officers.
Okay,
in the season finale of last season.
All right, that's what I thought, and I couldn't remember, and I didn't have time to go check. That to me is when it really got good. Of course, that's the last few minutes of the show. And it's also my favorite scene. I found it so intriguing what the action he took at the very end of the show of the second episode. Because that's going to come back. That's going to come back to haunt him, and it's going to change what happens to the characters. I think what also I missed is our other Bad Batch character. What was his name? Slatman? Crosshair. And I totally brain farted on his name. Forgive me. But I wanted to know. I wish we had at least one scene of him somewhere. And I imagine he'll be coming in the coming episodes. So that's where I'm sitting, and so I'll just drop it there. Bang.
Yeah. Christopher, you said something that I want to follow up on, and I want to just clarify. You mentioned that you feel like the Star Wars shows these days, or like MCU, they all have to like be interconnected, or they all have to have they have to all have that like crazy serious like storytelling like way of looking at it. Mm-hmm. And I just want to clarify, I didn't want something interconnected like that with connecting it to Clone Wars or Rebels or other Star Wars things. I just wanted more of a hook, similar to what we got in season 1's premiere, where they introduced Omega as this major character, mm-hmm. and a reason for Clone Force 99 to be doing what they were doing. I feel like it was just lacking that drive or that hook to the season as a whole.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Slam, and I think they only planted the seeds. They didn't really show us what that's going mm-hmm. to be. I think we're going to find out what these first 2 episodes mean in that respect in the coming episodes.
Yeah, but I think sometimes they shoehorn stuff in there so early then you got to wait all this time, and then people complain about, oh, you're dragging it out too much. So I think there's also that problem too. I'd rather have the seeds in there planted and it grows as it goes along, as opposed to here's a big old tree. Okay, now we got to stare at this tree, but we're not doing anything with it until like episode 25. So I mean, that's my issue too. Is like I think we kind of know these characters, and I feel like they have planted the seeds. I mean, we feel like they're at some point they're going to start helping the rebellion. They're going to go more against the Empire, and it's going to be less about missions and stuff. But at the same time, I kind of wish it was just mission of the week, which Mando was kind of like too. And then people complain, oh, there's no overarching story. It's like, why can't it just be missions?
Yep.
You know?
Well, it succeeds on the strength of the characters. These are the Bad Batch themselves are wonderful, and Omega is becoming a incredibly strong character that I think all of us want to see more of, even maybe beyond this particular show.
And the mission that they did go on was super cool and super fun to watch.
I know.
I just don't know what it was telling us though.
Again, I watched stuff like this, and this episode they've actually, you can tell they've upgraded from last time. It's like, man, it just makes me wish I saw this stuff in live action Star Wars, because live action stories always feels lacking. They make it so frenetic and crazy. You don't, and this, it's like it feels better mapped out. The action is always better mapped out. But again, you can control things a whole lot better in CGI and animation than you can in the real world. So,
but I'm really enjoying that the Filoniverse is still thriving in the animated.
It almost makes you miss like the over choreographed, like fun choreography from the prequels too, a little bit with the over the top action.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess with Filoni having more of a hand in the Ahsoka series, I guess we'll see how the action plays out in that. So.
Yeah, that's one of the aspects that I didn't mention when we did our most anticipated, that he's got a bigger hand in that. So,
well, Ahsoka's his baby. So.
Right, and it's a great character and so perfectly cast too. So.
And he also mentioned he's going to do something with that character he's always wanted to happen. So I don't know if that means meeting Vader again. Or maybe having the Force Ghost of Vader. So I mean, there's the possibility Anakin's supposed to show up on that series.
Yep, we know he's going to be there. All right, well there you go. That's our review. A lot of Star Wars throughout today. Review of the Bad Batch, and then our most anticipated. Let us know what you think, and we'll be back next week with some more, maybe some news as well. SLATTMAN, Christopher, thank you for joining me. So much fun.
No problem.
I'm anticipating the rest of this year now.
Anticipating. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Let's say good night.
Good night.
Good night.